Royal Rumble weekend! Woo! 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 I just wanted to see if I start breathing hard from throwing all those punches. Hi, everybody, and welcome to a very special Dark Horse Riding, Heartthrob Seducing, favorite picking episode of the Brothers of Discussion. Man, we're going to talk everything Royal Rumble related, from our favorite Rumble statistics and who's going to break those records, who's going to do it. Because the Rumble is all about the numbers. Man, we're going to dive into the picks, of course. So many categories to jump into. I can't even keep track of them. There's like 5. Man, we're going to get you for a just super stacked card here coming this Sunday. Man, it's only like 3 days away. I can't wait. Man, another hot, spicy week of wrestling. How the heck are you?
I'm doing great. I worked really hard this afternoon to put together some good content that we're going to tease some of it tonight, and then we're going to have even more over the weekend. Mike, we're hoping to see some betting odds to update, which I was only able to give the people one good article about the betting odds. Mike, there are some sleepers in there. I think that if you're going to put money down on this.
You mean go to sleepers?
Absolutely. CM Punk at that plus 25,000.
Yeah, baby.
Drop $1. No, but there's some juicy picks in there. But hopefully we'll keep updating you guys. So you just got to stick to bodpodcast.com or brothersofdiscussion.com. Of course, you're going to see all the posts at BOD Podcast. You're going to see the Instagram posts at brothers_of_discussion. And man, Mike, we're actually going to watch. You and I have quarantined so that we can watch the Royal Rumble together this Sunday. It'll be the first pay-per-view that we have watched together, Mike, since the Royal Rumble of last year. That's right. We took a whole year off from watching pay-per-views together. Mike, it has been too long, and I'm super stoked. I'm glad that we're going to be socially distanced in your home, and we're going to be masked up. But we just couldn't go Royal Rumble without hanging out, especially since, Mike, this is the show that you and I try to attend every year. So it'll be good. It'll be good to see you. I have some mead to share with you that I'm drinking tonight. Got a shout out. It's actually, Mike, if you're a fan of the Detroit Red Wings, it's my hashtag wet the beak for the streak beverage tonight from Groenfell Meadery. So you've got 12 cans coming your way this Sunday.
Oh, wow. I'm very excited for that. Matt, you also have some Christmas presents coming your way, so I hope you're excited for those.
Hey, win-win.
Royal Rumble just keeps on giving. Well,
I mean, where do we go from here, right? I think it's best that we get the stupid Wednesday Night Wars out of the way, because who gives a flying F word this week?
Let's roll through these.
I'm going to tell you this, Mike. NXT didn't. It wasn't a terrible show, but I mean, how many weeks in a row was I saying this was match of the year? And I wasn't able to say that this week.
Yeah, Matt, let's get into it.
Oh my God, we already have comments. I missed all of them. Sorry, everybody.
Throw them in there.
We have it's booking time. Can y'all see this? Hell yeah, we can see this. It's booking time. I like this one. This is my favorite. Ask Rabada Dong. Trying to get our attention. I see you.
Ask Rabada Ding Dong. Love it.
What is going on? It's booking time. I hope you didn't already jump out. But yeah, hopefully we don't find out later that
I hope you're not getting charged by the comment, because that Ask Rabba Ding Dong was enough said. Beautiful. We didn't even need that other one. I love it.
It's by the letter in each comment. So
oh no. Should have just dropped a ding dong in there instead of throwing in the whole Ask Rabba Dabba. But I digress. Matt, let's try and do these Wednesday Night Wars. Get to the Royal Rumble. Matt, moment number 3 for NXT. What do you got?
Number 3, Mike. Oh shoot, where is it? Oh, it's skipped down on the next page on the notes here. Mike, I'm gonna go Balor and O'Reilly beating Lorcan and Burch. So obviously, how many weeks have we been doing the Wednesday Night Wars? How long have we been talking about Orchid and Birch being my most underrated tag team in NXT history. I got another sneeze coming. I'm going to make sure the next one goes right on the microphone. But this just wasn't up to par to what is my number one, and it wasn't as fun to see as my number two. So this is going to be my number three. It's still worth the watch, everybody. Mike, as you know, I watched it hardcore, and I hardcore loved it. So I'm going to tell everybody it's worth the watch. So go check it out. Mike, what was your number three for AEW this week?
For All Elite Wrestling, man. Moment number three. Easy peasy, 1, 2, 3. Jericho and MJF versus the Varsity Blondes. We talk a lot about the old cagey vets putting over the kids, and Jericho is doing his goddamnedest to get over Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison. Those two dudes, man, they look teleported out of like a mid '90s pro wrestling stable. They're both like 6'2", chunky, muscly. And then they got a little bit of hops to them. And then they got the flowing gold locks of hair. I don't know if Jericho sees a little bit of himself in these two guys, but they didn't get the win. But they're just getting TV time against one of the top teams in AEW. So hats off to the Varsity Blondes. That's my moment number three. Matt, moment number two for NXT. What do you got?
I'm going for one that really defined a good tag team and is starting to define someone that's coming up the rankings. Oh, I got to put up our banners on here. Let me save this one. Number two. There we go. Mike, I'm going with Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai defeating Aliyah and Camilla because I just like seeing Raquel Gonzalez continue to win. Like we already said, this is going to be a quick run through on the Wednesday Night Wars. I've already conceded defeat from NXT's side. But from a story standpoint, I loved seeing Raquel Gonzalez win. And Mike, as I follow that Instagram, I am falling deeply in love. And I just want the best for my sweet, sweet Raquel Gonzalez. Mike, you're number two.
Moment number two. Yeah, it was a crowded house for AEW, man. But I'm going to say Dark Order versus the Young Bucks and the Good Bros, or Buenos Hermanos, as they're going by now. Two things. It helped establish Good Brothers as it looks like they're actually going to be kind of a focal point in All Elite Wrestling. So I hope those guys are getting some nice paychecks for Mr. Khan. But, Matt, the most fascinating part of this segment was that the whole Dark Order is just, for reasons that, we wish there was a better reason for it, they're suddenly like big baby faces, and they're getting over as the group we're going to cheer for going forward. Our boy John Silver, I think he can upgrade it to John Platinum because he's kicking ass in this match. Hats off to him. He's one of my favorite clowns, but he can definitely go. He carried a lot of the wrestling segments, but really happy for the Dark Order, Matt. They're coming up in the world. Matt, dishonorable mention. Is that where we're at?
Yeah.
Do it.
I didn't prepare for this. Let's just go with let's go with Rust beating up Garcia. I hated it so much. I apparently didn't even fill out the entire match card because instead of giving Rust a first name, that's all I wrote. I mean, it's not doing anything for me yet. I'm glad for anybody that loved it. My number one NXT segment of the week was a huge jam-packed love story of Matt and all of his favorites because, Mike, you had the Grizzled Young Vets fighting Kushida and Ruff. So Kushida more than Ruff. Yeah. I absolutely adore the Grizzled Young Vets. They go over on Kushida and Ruff. Now, Kushida gets beat up at the end by Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory, who I'm becoming bigger fans of. But to the rescue, Dexter Lumis. Overall, this entire segment was just built for me to be happy. I wish I was tweeting more about it because honestly, it wouldn't be there. There aren't enough tweets that could have gone out about how happy I would be in a single segment to watch the Grizzled Young Vets and Dexter Lumis and Kushida. So bango. Mike, your dishonorable mention this week for AEW?
Well, man, a lot of consistency at AEW. Dishonorable mention every week is that the women get to wrestle during a Bugles commercial. And this week was no exception. Once again, the one women's segment, Britt Baker and Shayna got got to get into a tussle, and Britt got to cheat with some heel tactics. So it was classic heel stuff. I don't know. Let these women develop on something besides commercial television and picture. We didn't get it this week. Boo! But at least Thunder Rosa came in to try and rescue it, and again set the stage for her and Britt Baker having an ultimate payoff showdown match. But Matt, moment number 1. It's tied because Ryan Nemeth debuted, Dolph Ziggler's brother. Oh my God, he wrestles a little bit like his brother. He does the big I forgot what they call it, the like pin drop DDT, where he goes flying upward and then brings you all the way back down. So fun to see. He didn't get to win. He's going up against the Hangman, so it was more about you're in the ring with the Hangman. We'll get you the wins later. Let's make sure we get some eyeballs on you.
Did you watch that promo he did online on Twitter?
No, I missed the online promo.
Can I give it a quick review?
Do it.
Mike, he may be worse than Dolph Ziggler. I know we're supposed to be all about holding hands and hugging, but oh boy, Mike, it didn't sound like he gave a lick of care in this. Like, again, we talk about casting all the time. Sometimes people are just bad actors. It could also be he didn't care. I'm gonna go with bad actor on this. It just didn't do it for me, Mike. I was excited to watch Dolph's brother, but watching that promo made me go, all right, I'll watch the highlights.
Well, sorry to hear that, Matt. There was one match to try and save it. Matt's a guy who's going to run this company. It's Jungle Boy. He and Dax put on a classic. And then the gimmick at the end is that the FTR tried to give Jungle Boy a little snippy snip haircut. Luckily, Marco Stunt and I think Top Flight came running out to save him. But really excited to see that eventual Jurassic Express FTR payoff match. But Matt, I think we're ready to jump into the Royal Rumble, baby. Woo! Yeah. There's a whole bunch of matches on the card, but Matt, we got to talk about the Rumble. We got the women's Rumble, we got the men's Rumble. Matt, we got odds coming in. We got, oh my God, all sorts of picks and categories to jump into. I'm excited. Are you excited?
I'm excited. This is
right.
I mean, this is where we get to reset. This is where, like, if there was a time to take, like, if you were going to be New Japan and you were going to take time off, if there was what you came back with, it should always be the Royal Rumble, because this is where our heads reset. This is where we go, okay, whatever happened in the past, it can either be settled at the Royal Rumble, but whatever we're doing going forward starts here. So I adore it for that reason. And Mike, I mean, should I actually putting up the odds right now? Should we take a look at the latest odds from?
Yeah, put the odds up. Let's do it.
Let me so of course, like I said, we're going to be updating you guys on bodpodcast.com and brothersofdiscussion.com. Oh boy. Oh, that's why. Okay, this is scary. Big E has fallen down the rankings, Mike. You ready for this?
Oh,
do you want to take a stab at what the odds say right now?
Is he still top 5?
Let me count. Let me see how quickly I can count to 5. Mike, I'm counting to 5. Here we go. 1, 2. Yeah, he's in the top 5. Okay. I struggled there with my eyes for a second. I went, is that 6? All right. Mike, here's those odds. We're going to go over these before we go over our picks, because I think we have them written down. We're not going to cheat. We're not going to change our answers. But it is worth mentioning, Mike, how closely the odds always match to what happens in the Rumble. So look away, avert your eyes if you don't want the spoilers. But Mike, can you see these on your screen right now?
Yes. Yep. They're showing.
We're looking at, Mike, best odds to win the Royal Rumble. Daniel freaking Bryan. Holy crap.
Hey, just 7 years too late.
Crap.
Just 7 years too late.
That's right. The first Rumble we attended, we expected him to win.
That should have been the greatest Royal Rumble since Ric Flair in, 1992. But we didn't get it.
Now,
instead, that was the first time Rey Mysterio got booed in his whole career. Incredible moment.
Quick shout out. This is from sportsbettingdime.com. I got C. Fosterling's back. He says 20 to 1. Is that or are you just saying Daniel Bryan on there as the 20 to 1? Or are you saying you have a 20 to 1 shot of winning? Let me know. But Mike, running down the list, you got Keith Lee as number 2, Lesnar's number 3, and we have a quick tease of a video we're going to come out with tomorrow on our YouTube channel with all of our good buddies on social media that wanted to let us know their thoughts on the Royal Rumble coming up, including Mr. Warren Hayes, including Teddy Turnbuckle. Mike, I think we all are big fans of Teddy Turnbuckle. The more I heard those picks, the more I started thinking, oh my God, Brock Lesnar's going to win this thing. But here's our odds. And Mike, quick rundown on the women's side, and then we'll get into our better chat. Bianca Belair leading the way. Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, Bayley, and of course, at number 6, Becky Lynch. I think a very good chance we see Becky Lynch. I don't know if it's time, if we're quite ready to just throw her back in there, because I have a feeling she's going to run into someone that we can get one hell of a match that will have nothing to do with titles, and we'll get into that later. And I think, everybody knows what I'm talking about. But Mike, do you want to touch on these odds at all? There's also
I think the women's one is pretty interesting. If you want to scroll back down for a sec, if only because it feels like these are legitimate contenders. Bianca Belair's top prospect. Alexa Bliss has been killing it on the mic as her new Harley Quinn character. Rhea Ripley is the big fish in the little pond at NXT. Might be time for her to come up. Charlotte Flair and Bayley and Becky, 3 of the bigger names. Ronda Rousey, if she returns, they want to insert her into a main event picture. She's not going to be toiling in the mid card. But then you go to the men, and it is all over the map. Roman Reigns is in there. Goldberg, The Rock, McIntyre. These are just big. They're just big names. I can't believe any of these people would be bet on.
And I threw that into the blog too, where I was covering this, because I was like, okay, so we can make our comments about how close these odds usually come to predicting a winner. Yeah. But I mean, come on. I think we know The Rock's not going to show up for a WrestleMania that's going to have. I don't
think they're going to make. They don't want Goldberg to wrestle once, let alone twice, in one night. He's going to go over his 5-minute threshold there if he enters, even at number 30.
Now, Mike, they are going to announce who's coming in at number 30, I think, to make sure the fans don't get too upset or don't get their hopes up.
If we announce Rey Mysterio ahead of time, they won't be as mad.
Okay. What if they announce number 30 is going to be the loser of Drew McIntyre and Goldberg? What if that is the announcement?
Well, I'm never going to complain about an extra opportunity to see Drew come out in his kilt and do his entrance. Yeah. But, for the Rumble, he's going to be limping, to sell the hellacious spears he took in defeat. But, yeah, the men's Rumble odds are all over the map, Matt. I don't think Keith Lee's ready. I don't think Daniel Bryan is going to spend the last 3 months of his wrestling television matches putting other people over just so he can win a Royal Rumble. I don't think he's going to let, the likes of, Cesaro, Nakamura, Big E, Drew Gulak to an extent, let all these guys get over on him because he doesn't care about winning. He wants to get over his favorite wrestlers. And now all of a sudden he's going to want to be the guy who wins. I'm not buying it. Man, I think if anything, this proves to me Lesnar Edge is going to win.
I will say that this does go back to something we talked about last week, where I said sometimes they pull back on the winners. Sometimes the winner of the Royal Rumble loses a few weeks heading in, so that you lose that whiff. If we're hunting them down as the bloodhounds we are of pro wrestling viewers, the more that Daniel Bryan loses, the more we're going to lose that whiff. The more we're going to lose the scent of Daniel Bryan and start thinking it's, the likes of Nakamura, which is a little tease here. Might be on one of my lists that we're going to go over later. Here's our odds. They'll update. And Sunday night, Mike, I think will be the time to stop looking at the odds, because that's when they will update to who the winner will be, which is, that's just what happens. That's how things get spoiled. So we're going to close this up. We're going to continue talking. First of all, we got to throw out Fosterling throwing out there. Let's cheer on Goldberg.
Yeah, Goldberg.
Hey, you know what? Go ahead. Go see how many people follow along. You can. Look. See Fosterling. I'm gonna put this on our chat. I'm gonna put it on the show.
Yeah.
Everybody will have that. You can listen to him, or you can see Goldberg for what he is. He's an old, washed up, bald piece of crap who can sail off into the sunset. I never need to see him again. Please, in the chat amongst your, decide who you'd like to go with. Matt, who's really mean and pessimistic, or nice guy C. Fosterling, who wants to make sure that we're nicer to humans. And I'm done with Goldberg. I'm sorry.
I gotta say, every time I hear Goldberg's entrance, that heavy that march, bum, dum, da 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 da. The kids would say, that song slaps. Yeah, that song, it bangs. And I say, it fucks, because that song fucking rules. I love that song. That's the only reason I can stomach hearing it twice for the Royal Rumble and his match against McIntyre.
Doesn't a song clap? Or am I thinking of booty cheeks?
I don't know. I know butt cheeks clap. I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta clap. You gotta clap them cheeks.
But if it's a really good song, do you clap your cheeks to the music?
Exactly. Do you clap, ladies and gentlemen? Do you clap your cheeks?
We gotta get a poll up.
To the music. We actually could run a poll, but I'm not crafty enough to pull up our YouTube channel while we're doing this. So, ladies and gentlemen, just decide amongst yourselves and then send us a tweet. Go to
we'll play a song and you tell us if your butt cheeks start clapping.
You know what? Just with no context. Don't even reply to this video. No context. Just at BOD Podcast and say, I clap my cheeks to music, and we'll count up all the tweets, and
I want it to sound like applause. That's how many butt cheeks I want to hear clapping. All right. I almost got back to a popski. All right.
Let's run through the card. And I think we are missing a couple of matches now that I realize what I put down. We'll run through the card, Mike. Then we'll start talking the Rumbles, because that's where we got all the participation from our good friends on social media today. For anybody who didn't answer my requests for you to come on the show, I just want to let you know that you are dead to me, and I will never talk to you again. I'm just kidding. Oh, that's a vote from Mr. Rodriguez, I think, for a clap. He claps his cheeks for music. It just doesn't have any text on it, so we're deciding for him. All right, Mike. Women's Tag Team Championship match. Asuka and Charlotte Flair versus Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Mike, here's the thing. Mike. Here's the thing. What's best for everyone here. Yep, C. Fosterling's got it. Asuka and Flair. Let's pull that up. I want to pull up his comment. Best thing for everybody is this. Because you're increasing the possibility that Shayna gets away from Nia Jax and could possibly win the Royal Rumble. I think we'd all be big fans of that. She was second to last, right? Or was that last year? She was at the bottom four, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
And you're also increasing the chances for a fun title match between Charlotte and Asuka, because eventually they're going to break up and not be friends. And C. Fosterling, there we go. Nia Jax says go away heat, just like Bill Goldberg. Sorry, I had to dunk on you.
They're like star-crossed lovers. I would really like to see them hook up.
So that's where my head's at with both of these. It makes zero sense, I think, to keep pushing this Shayna-Nia tag team. And if there's a tag team championship, like also women's title match between our tag team champions, like I think that's pretty neat. I like that aspect. I like when they did it with Shawn Michaels and I almost said Shawn Michaels and HBK, but Shawn Michaels and John Cena back at WrestleMania 23. I think it would be really cool to throw that in there and just show that they get their title match started because of butting heads, which means Charlotte does not need to win the Royal Rumble, Mike, in that scenario. So that's all fun and games for me. So best for the fans, Asuka and Charlotte.
I agree. The quickest route to Shayna Baszler becoming a singles champion is to keep your eyes on the prize. Stay away from that tag team shenanigans. That's not for you, girl. You stay away from those. Those are bad. You do you. You beat up Nia. You break her for all of us. You just like that. Just bend her in half, and then we move forward. Maybe she's going to be some of my Rumble picks here shortly.
So here's the other thing too. This match will have huge ramifications, is my guess, because we have like 2 championship matches, 2 Royal Rumble matches, and then we have this tag match. You don't just throw in the women's tag match. Like I know it's one thing where we want the women's tag titles to mean a lot more. Hopefully, eventually, one day they do mean a lot more. But right now, we know that it's kind of middling. But I think this is that opportunity to start pushing them as well. Something huge could happen here, and I'm all here for it. I think we just need to cross our fingers, hope everything's booked properly, and then boom, keep on moving forward. Mike, to continue moving forward through our Royal Rumble match card, what do you want to talk first? You want to talk Roman beating Kevin Owens or Goldberg beating Drew McIntyre?
Let's get these non-Rumble matches out of the way. Matt McIntyre, Goldberg. This is going to be a 60-second squash for the boom.
Oh my God!
A year, Matt, an 18-month odyssey of building up the Great Scotsman with the big flapping dong under that magical blue kilt. All for naught, because it's time to get old Graybeard himself, old long in the tooth Goldberg. You know what, Matt? I won't even be that upset if he destroys our beloved McIntyre in 60 seconds, and then maybe Matt Riddle wins that Royal Rumble, and I get that match I've been begging for years. Well, maybe not years, maybe literally 2 years. Matt Riddle, Goldberg, but Matt.
All right.
How are you going to feel if Goldberg squashes McIntyre? And he gets him so hard, McIntyre is still in his kilt. It happens that quickly.
Mike, I don't. There are so many moments where Goldberg ruins pro wrestling for me. I mean, going back to The Fiend.
You're going to be buying a Who's Next t-shirt on WWEshop.com.
You could make the argument that he ruined the allure of The Undertaker in one fell swoop. Literally a failed swoop of a suplex. I'm so proud of that. You have no idea. But Goldberg has ruined so many things in pro wrestling for me. If he destroys McIntyre in a squash, I mean, I'm already done with him. I'm not going to be done with the WWE because I'm going to have hope that McIntyre is going to come back. They've done at least enough to tell me that there's that chance for McIntyre to come back on Goldberg. But for the night, Mike, that's going to make me the most sad, even when I don't get, any of my Rumble picks right for either the men's or the women's. Like that moment where my absolute favorite guy over the last 3 years, where I got to share one of the best moments that I'm going to say in my pro wrestling life. I mean, it's a top 10 moment, honestly, of seeing my guy. You know what? I shouldn't. It's a top 10 journey of seeing that Royal Rumble victory moving into WrestleMania, and we were covering Drew McIntyre for a full 2 years, saying it's his time, give it to him, and then it finally happened. Like all of that, that's going to mean so much to me as I age. As a current 30-year-old man, I'm going to age into 40 and 50 and still go, man, that Drew McIntyre run, that was some pretty cool stuff. And when Goldberg ruins it, and I already hate Goldberg so much, it's like from Clue. I used this GIF earlier this week when we were talking to one of our buddies, but it's the fire, the burning fire in my head. No, not ringing a bell. Okay, for anybody that watches Clue, what is that, Miss White? Anywho's those. I'm just gonna be furious. I'm not gonna be happy. I don't know if there's any way to make this fun. This is just gonna be a bad night for Matt if Drew McIntyre gets squashed. If he wins, Mike, I'm going to be screaming. I'm going to be so happy because I really do think there's no shot of him winning.
I don't think we brought Bill back to have him lose to, a guy in a kilt. But I think you give Bill too much grief. I don't think he injured The Undertaker. I think it's kind of like Dwight Schrute talking about Stanley Hudson. I didn't fill The Undertaker with butter and sugar for 50 years and watch him break both his hips. That's not Goldberg's fault.
We have a Madeline Kahn flames on the side of my face from at Quarantina Turner. confirmed. I'm not crazy. That did happen in Clue. Thank you so much. Also known as Paige Walker.
What a fantastic movie.
Oh, thank God you're there for me, Paige. Yeah.
Stop screaming. What?
All right. So, Mike, I think ultimately we've thrown out through what we think is going to happen. This is going to be quick. So how about we go into something that might make me a little less angry, because I'll be happy whichever direction this goes in. I think we all would love to see Kevin Owens be a champion again. And we all love Roman Reigns, and we want this to continue forever. So either way this goes, I'm going to be happy. But you have to think that Roman Reigns hasn't even come close to where the head of the table storyline could peak. So keep that title on him. The only way that this if he loses the title, the only way this night could redeem itself from that storyline standpoint is if he comes out in the Royal Rumble and destroys everybody just out of anger. There is that possibility, right? The Usos want some revenge. Maybe they saw this as an opportunity and they're going to help Kevin Owens. But I ultimately, the easy pick, the easy way to dissect this, it's Roman Reigns all the way. It's going to be a great battle. It's going to go long, as it should. Kevin Owens is going to put up a hell of a fight. But, Mike, I wouldn't even be surprised. What if The Rock came out and helped Roman? Yeah, that's right. Your mind was just blown right now. Because I'm just saying. There's a lot of things that can go right for Roman in this match. He's the head of the table character is money right now. And those SmackDown, everybody loves talking ratings. Those SmackDown ratings absolutely love seeing Roman Reigns. Yeah, Roman all day.
This is a tough one to pick because Roman Reigns is the head of the table, but Kevin Owens has not met a press board table that he doesn't want to smash his own body through. So I don't know what's going to be left standing at the end because I don't think it's going to be a table. So, Matt, that's why I'm going to pick Kevin Owens, the table smasher himself, to be the last man standing on one Canadian leg. I think he's...
Put some money on that because you're going to be making bank if we go back to that odds page.
Woo-wee! I'll be able to afford some Royal Rumble tickets for next year. Woo! Yeah. All right. So Kevin Owens, the table smasher. All right. Got it. Matt, are we through the card? Are we at the Royal Rumble yet?
I think we are, which means, Mike, I'd like to show everybody our our long teaser of a big video coming out. All of our friends from social media wanted to give us their picks for the Royal Rumble and this weekend. And of course, Mike, there's another ad at the end of this video that I want y'all to check out because it's going to be what we're doing Saturday morning. So watch the entire video and you'll hopefully catch up with what you need to do to make sure you don't miss us this Saturday morning on a very special show. And we'll let the individual who hosts the show actually tell you what's going on. But let me pull this up, and we'll get her started, and then we'll come back and we'll finish up our picks for the Rumble. And I hope you guys enjoy. This little video here. Actually, you know what I did, Mike? I did not do the audio again, so I apologize to everybody listening. This is when we lose you, viewers and listeners. Here we go. Now it's shared. Mike, you tell me right away if there's no sound.
Hey everyone, this is Andy from the Bloody Boys Hockey Podcast.
There's
final
no sound?
4 predictions. I would like to see Daniel Bryan, the Swiss Superman Cesaro, phenomenal AJ Styles, and the powerhouse of positivity, Big E. I want to see Big E finally break through that glass ceiling. I think we could all use his positivity right now and what he represents. And I'd like to see him challenge the head of the table, the big dog, Roman Reigns, whatever nicknames he's tacked onto himself recently. Big fan of Big E, big fan of Roman. And as much as I like the other 3 names mentioned for the final 4, I just think, I think it's his time. And that's what I want to see. So if you disagree, I don't know, come at me at Captain Tennille on Twitter or at Broadway Boys Podcast on Twitter.
I am JFS, the reviewer. For the Royal Rumble for the women, I am predicting we're going to have Alexa Bliss, Bianca Belair, Io Shirai, or Rhea Ripley get the win. I'm hoping it's Rhea, but with the WWE's writers, you never know. For the men, I see it being Daniel Bryan, Edge, Shinsuke Nakamura, Sheamus, or The Rock. If it's Rock, I would not be surprised, but hopefully he won't get injured this time if he fights Roman.
Yes, the Royal Rumble, otherwise known as Christmas to us wrestling fans. So heading toward the Women's Rumble, my final four in this is going to be Alexa Bliss, Bianca Belair, Bayley, and I'm actually going to say Rhea Ripley. I think Alexa could win this, but I'm going to take Bayley to win this. One last match between Banks and Bayley. To the Men's Royal Rumble, Jey Uso wins this. Jey pulls a Batista. He says he's going to go on Raw, and he's going to challenge Drew, but ends up signing a SmackDown contract.
All right. Well, it's Amy D. I'm finally on the Brothers of Discussion podcast. So let's kick it off with the men. First, who I'd like to see win is Cesaro, but that's never going to happen. Next, I would love to see the King of Strong Style. And last, Daniel Bryan. Now, who I think will win? The loser of the McIntyre versus Goldberg match, Women's Royal Rumble. Who I want to win? Bianca Belair. I mean, now is her time. I don't want him to wait. Shayna Baszler makes sense. And get her away from Nia. And Rhea Ripley, I mean, come on. What a way to get called up, right? Now, who I think will win? Bayley. Probably, maybe Charlotte. I love Charlotte, but I just don't think it's her year for the Rumble.
And this is just FK NXT that sent us their responses.
What's going on? Here's some predictions for the Royal Rumble. If Goldberg loses, I will shave my entire body. And I am very wrinkly. Roman Reigns, duct tape Kevin Owens' feet to the floor, and then just walk away. Let the referee count to 10, boom, it's over. And the winner of the Royal Rumble better be Bayley. Better be. She deserves it. And for the men, I have a bad feeling it's going to be Brock Lesnar. And Paul Heyman's going to have to choose between his two lovers, Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar.
Oh, hello there, brothers of discussion. We started with the dudes. Here's my final four. Daniel Bryan, Bobby Lashley, Big E, and Edge. Who would be my dream winner? I would say Daniel Bryan. But who do I think is going to win? Bobby Lashley. As for the women now, my final four, Charlotte, Shayna Baszler, Bianca Belair, and a returning Becky Lynch. My dream winner, Bianca Belair. I think a returning Becky Lynch is going to win, put her back into a title situation. Can we plug this? Can we talk about this? I mean, because the brothers of discussion are going to be on my podcast this Saturday morning at 11 a.m. We were going to be recording live on youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes. So why don't you come and join me and the guys, and we're gonna dig deep into the Royal Rumble this year. I'm excited to have them on. Hope you guys watching right here will join us over on youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes. Might as well go subscribe right now. Why don't you? It'll be a good time. Thank you, guys. Thank you, brothers of discussion. Have I been calling you discretion or discretion? Brothers of discussion. That's how I'll call you moving forward. Anyway, look, I love you guys. Talk to you soon.
Oh, God bless Warren Hayes. What a wonderful human.
Of course, now we have a new name, the Brothers of Discussion.
Yeah.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be on the Mr. Warren Hayes Show this Saturday morning at 11 a.m. So you need to subscribe to the Mr. Warren Hayes Show on YouTube to make sure you don't miss a thing. We are going to be doing a super huge deep dive. But for all of those takes, we actually have much longer versions for each one. So we're going to be posting those on our YouTube channel. So we want you guys to check out the Brothers of Discussion and please subscribe to that channel so you can see that full video there. So you can see all your favorites. Who's going to be picking what. And as I do see now, we are seeing some more videos trickling in for some Brothers of Discussion friends and family. So we'll be posting more of those videos together. It'll be long form. It'll be very long. You'll get more than just our take, but our takes will be on there as well. So again, go to the Brothers of Discussion YouTube channel, subscribe, and you won't miss a thing. Of course, you'll never miss a live show either. So continuing, Mike, we are
getting a message here to also check out the OnlyFans for Fartin P Man. Huh. Oh. Anyway, I'm not quite sure where that was, but we'll just continue here. Matt, we got to get into our picks. Are we doing our top four? The four people are going to be left at the end where they're kind of looking at each other, jaw-jacking, and pointing at the big WrestleMania sign. Or last year, I think they kind of cheated and they put it on a jumbotron. But I want a sign, damn it! I want a sign.
That was actually a super huge bummer when you realized that. You were going, wait a minute, how are they going to do this? How are they going to miss the greatest, like the best moment of every Royal Rumble to see a guy pointing at a sign?
What are we even wrestling for? I want to point at a goddamn sign. I don't.
That's a great discussion. Like, are we going to get a sign this year?
Yeah.
You know, because, I mean, why? But why would we? For shows inside the Thunderdome? They could just make the Thunderdome say WrestleMania, right?
Yeah, so you can just point all over.
Woo! Right.
So maybe that's kind of getting into our statistics, Matt. Some of the greats in the history of the Royal Rumble. God, I love this event. So yeah, I will be upset if the winner does not have a sign to point to. So that's one statistic, Matt, that I'm putting out there. Matt, couple but they're by the numbers. That's how we talk about the Royal Rumble. So one of the streaks is the longest single run in the Royal Rumble. I don't want to get into the ones where you have the accumulated time. Even though I know it's Chris Jericho, I don't know how he's been in there for 5 full hours over his career and he has 0 victories.
I think that'll be broken on Sunday, Mike. Somebody will break the 5 hours total. So it'll have to be somebody's first Rumble. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Just keep talking.
No, I think it might be a 5-hour Rumble and Otis is going to break it. Just so they can update the statistic sheet and have of Chris Jericho and something. But the longest single run, Matt, I'm not counting that greatest Royal Rumble. This is the Royal Rumble discussion, not greatest Royal Rumble. All right, these are the best Royal Rumbles. All right, Matt, it was Rey Mysterio, 1 hour and 2 minutes. That was the year he dedicated that run to Eddie Guerrero, who passed away, and he ended up winning. So, Matt, you see anybody breaking Rey Mysterio's 1 hour, 2 minute record this year?
I guess if there's anybody who, like, at this point, we're all kind of like picking him, or he's in the back of our mind of, like, could possibly win, or has been doing so well recently, he needs some sort of push. It's Cesaro, right? Like, this pushes him into that mid-tier title conversation. He gets out of the tag titles, and it's time for him to fight for United States title or an Intercontinental belt, I think, right after the Rumble. I went, of course, as Amy put on there, like, it would be amazing to see Cesaro win, but I just don't see it happening. And of course, Andy Hammond, who's at Captain Tennille, he also puts Cesaro in his bottom 4. But like I said, it would be fantastic. I don't see it happening, but I do agree, like, Cesaro getting close, and I do like the idea of him being that. What do we call him? The marathon man.
Yeah. I am super jealous of that pick. You kind of stole my thunder with that one, because I don't think they want to gift him a historic career turnaround with a 2021 Royal Rumble victory out of nowhere. But I do see him getting gifted something. And I think that something is that he's actually, not going to be a cameo where he just comes in, does a few feats of strength, and then this, 6'5" chiseled 245-pound man is unceremoniously dumped, usually off camera. I think this year he's actually going to get maybe a little bit of credit. He might be, the first, second, or third slots, and he's going to go pretty close, but not close enough. Matt, let's do another statistic here. Lucky numbers. It looks like we've had a lot of winners, Matt, from 30, 27, and 24. Number 1 actually has a pretty good track record as well, which is kind of silly because so does number 2, and you get a lot more credit for coming in at 1 than 2, but 2 guys start the match. Matt, do you see a number that maybe you want to get a little more credit this year? I'm going to say
what?
Now, hear me out. That is a ridiculous question, but I think that maybe number 20, symbolic of the year 2020, maybe one of the worst years since year 0, since when we killed Jesus, up there for one of the worst years ever. So ranked, 2001, awful year. 2020, right up there. 0, those are some of our worst years. So I think year number 21, I think, is going to be the winner this year. Matt, your hot number.
I've got to go either 6 or 9. only because I can't pick the easy layup of 69. But I like your face, just dead.
I love that pick because I'm hoping that what happens if entries 6 and 9 get eliminated at the same time, and the announcers comment on it.
For anybody that missed Mike's take because I was talking, it was right here.
And shortest time in the Rumble. Now this is it's gonna be a tough break, all right, because we have people who are out in 5 seconds. 4 seconds.
Didn't Titus beat this?
Matt, we are not counting that greatest Royal Rumble. We told you that's out. Matt, Santino Marella, all right, at 1 second. Matt, do you have somebody entering and exiting? Not even a minute man. This isn't even a second man, Matt. This is tenths of a second man. Who is the tenths of a second man, men or women? Who do you got?
Here's the big thought. This is me putting way too much thought into this question. Mike, it'll be The Miz.
Ooh.
If that WWE Championship match comes after the Men's Rumble. Because then The Miz will be cashing in and winning that belt. So I'm gonna throw that out there. We did forget to mention that there is a Money in the Bank potential. Right? Wait. Yeah, there is. So he would be the guy that would be knocked out because he would get that redemption later on. But no, nobody's breaking this record ever. I think what happened is they tried to do it with Titus and they couldn't get him over fast enough. Remember he screwed up on the flip over the top rope?
Yeah.
I'm remembering it now.
It's quite a conspiracy because
I was going to say,
Titus, you were supposed to be the record, and he's like, oh, I just couldn't get out of the ring fast enough. But I think he was trying to avoid that dishonorable mention for the rest of his life. So I think he botched it on purpose. So bravo to Titus.
I was gonna say Otis, but that's if he legit couldn't get over the ropes, why would did I say Titus? I meant Otis. Why would Otis be able to get over those ropes? So that was the first name that came to mind. I don't think he has the ability to be the fastest one.
No, it'd be a lot like shot putting a bowling ball. So I think that record will probably be pretty secure for Santino, unless they really do some shenanigans with I don't know, Matt. I can't think anybody they would want to abuse more than poor Santino. Let's move on, Matt. We got unofficial winners. Now, this is a category that maybe not a lot of people talk about, but they're people who are beat up. They're pummeled. Their number was called. They tried to make it to the ring. They got beat up. They never got to enter. But they also were never eliminated. Now, we have a few people who did that. R-Truth got pummeled by Nia Jax. He's supposed to come in at number 30. And Nia was one of, I believe, 3 women between China and Beth Phoenix to ever enter the Men's Royal Rumble. Historic moment. But R-Truth, kind of technically a Royal Rumble winner, never eliminated. Matt, Curtis Axel had the same thing in 2015. Lana, she's a casualty, so Becky Lynch could win. Matt, do you have any unofficial winners coming through this year?
This is so funny. Who am I going to pick that's a doofus? That I mean, like the same names come to mind because we're just talking about doofy awards here. I mean, Otis comes to mind. We are being, now that I think about it, we're being are we being a little sexist here because we haven't done any of these on the women's side. I think Lana could try and go for it again. I just went. That's why she came to mind because she already did it. That's why. So yeah, Lana would do it a second time. No, I'm struggling to think of anybody that's not Otis or The Miz. Maybe John Morrison would be funsies. Who do you have in mind, Mike?
Ooh, it's
a question. Where are you moving? Oh man, what a rough question. I didn't see this one coming.
Toughie. Well, I mean, they've abused some of my favorites long enough. I wouldn't be shocked if they did it even more. But for my pick, because I know that Matt Riddle, he's going to favor heavily in my picks to come, as far as people I really want to win. And I have a feeling that the only way he's winning a Royal Rumble is if he gets pummeled at number 29 by somebody like Goldberg. and then takes his spot, and Goldberg wins the Rumble. Something awful like that. So Matt, my pick for that is going to be Matt Riddle because I'm going to throw up blood when I see it. So I think the last statistic is one of our favorites because it was held. Gosh, I miss him so much, and it breaks my heart that he never got to win. My boy Kane, Glenn Jacobs, the man himself, used to have 10 eliminations from 2001. It's since been trumped multiple times. Roman Reigns broke the record, and now Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar have it. But we're not going to count Braun because his is greatest Royal Rumble, and that's, we're not counting that. So Brock has the record at 13. Matt, does anyone have a chance of eliminating almost half the field at 14?
It's funny that you said almost, because I think there's a shot that almost comes in as AJ Styles' bodyguard and is going to do a number on the entire WWE roster. I'm not saying he's going to do it, but I'm saying there's a chance he's going to come close, and he's going to come about protecting AJ, and they're finally going to build him up as an actual professional wrestler.
Wow. I think that the record is going to be, it's going to stand tall. Unless there's some sort of supernatural demons that the Fiend Bray Wyatt summons to pluck human beings out of the ring and make both of their feet gingerly touch the mat before they're sucked into hell. So it's either Goldberg's record will stand, or Lesnar's record will stand, or Bray Wyatt will use his evil magic powers. And Matt, that gets us into the picks. I think you're right. I think we did lean a little too heavily on the men's side there. So let's start with
most eliminations for the women, I was scared to say, was either Bianca Belair or Rhea Ripley. The one who does that will not win the Rumble. And I just gave away my Rumble pick. Sorry.
Yeah. I do see Bianca eliminating a lot of women.
Yes.
She's going to be throwing them left and right. It's going to be an incredible physical performance. I'm really excited to see what Bianca does this Sunday. Matt, let's do the Final Fours. Woo! All right. Matt, your women's Final Four. These are the last 4 women. They're going to be jaw-jacking. They're going to be pointing at a big sign that says WrestleMania on it. They better be, or I'm going to be livid. It's going to ruin the whole weekend for me. Matt, your 4 women. Who you got?
All right, so forgive me as we go through these lists if my Final Four doesn't line up with like the other list of like winners and stuff.
We'll forgive you, Matt. We'll absolve you of that sin. What do you got?
All right. Final Four. So this is who I'm thinking is most likely to end up this Final Four. If I knew somebody else was going to win, I would absolutely adjust this. That's my asterisk on my Final Four. Mike, Bianca Belair, Charlotte, Rhea Ripley, and Becky Lynch.
Oh,
she's going to be a late comer to the match. I think she'll be pretty close to 30, and she'll be sticking around. She's still Becky Lynch. They're still going to sell her as Becky Lynch. Mike, if we go about our favorites, if your favorites and your bottom 4, I think it would be fun to eliminate them one by one to tell you who's going to be the winner. But Mike, who are your Final 4?
Well, there's a lot of overlap. I don't see Becky Lynch being quite ready. I think she's still, doing the mom
rookie
thing.
Mistake.
Right. I just don't think they want to bring her back for a Rumble appearance unless she's winning it. And I think she'll just kind of find her own way to WrestleMania. I think she'll be ready for that. I would be pretty surprised if she came out for the Rumble. So my 4 women, I would. This is what I would put money on. 100%. Bayley will be in the bottom 4. 100%. She's going to be the heel to, put over the whole match for whoever wins. Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and then I'm going to put my girl Shayna Baszler in there. I think this is another opportunity here. I'm hoping they don't butcher this and, let her get some more heat. I think she's one of the more capable heel wrestlers in the whole company. When she and Kairi Sane had a feud, I was so inspired. I bought T-shirts for both of them. That's how much I love their, David Goliath bouts. And it hasn't really paid off for me. Kairi has fled the continent, and Shayna is in like 3rd place in the women's tag division. Kills me. Those are my 4 women. Matt, the 4 men you got, bottom 4. Who we got?
Okay. I didn't know if we wanted to finish out the women's Rumble and then do the men's.
No, we'll do the 4x4. We'll go around. We got.
All right, everybody, get your pads of paper and pens out. So write down the final four here for the women, and then we'll come back to that. And you guys keep track. All right, Mike's rules. Final four men. Before we go do the rest of the women's rumble. Still, I'm talking shit. All right.
Does it make sense the other way? Do you want to do it that way?
It might be in a big baby.
Big baby, man. Yeah, let's do it. All right, let's do the.
All right, here's my dream pick, Mike. For the women's rumble.
All right.
I know. Okay, I think this could go either way with what I said before about most eliminations. My dream pick is Rhea Ripley.
Okay.
You need me to. All right. So my dream is Rhea Ripley because.
Tell us about a dream you had. All right.
No, it's Rhea because I mean, God, it's
Oh,
already been discussed that I want her to either be most eliminate. Like I need her to make an impact because I think she's coming to the main roster. I think again, making that impact is going to be huge for her, making that next step up.
Making
Because
her
we've seen
TNA impact.
We've seen too many wrestlers come up from NXT and not make enough of an impact to stay around. So something like that has to happen to keep her interesting. I think there's a great opportunity for Rhea Ripley with no titles involved, and it would be Charlotte Flair, and that would be fun to get that rematch in there. But I mean, yeah, she's my favorite wrestler in NXT. She's got Mike. She's everything we talked about from a casting perspective on like Drew McIntyre. She's just in a different division, so that's everything to me. Give me Rhea Ripley all day.
Yeah, our boy David came in. He's picking Nia Jax. I don't know how serious a pick this is, David. Oh, hey, Amy. Glad you're joining in. Yeah, he sounded wonderful. But my dream pick is not Nia Jax. I think that a lot of people would cancel their subscriptions and cancel Peacock if Nia Jax were to triumph. I think the only way we'd be okay with that is if somehow she won the men's rumble. That would be the only thing I could palatable outcome. Matt, my dream pick, you said it. It's Rhea Ripley. It's time. Let's pull the trigger. She didn't quite get to have her WrestleMania moment last year. She was felled. I'm ready. I think we're buckled in. I think we've seen enough of her in NXT. I think that NXT women's division is so stacked. They don't need her anymore. But we could use some more muscle. We could use somebody who is, my God, the total package, the look, the skill set, wrestling-wise, the storytelling ability. It's everything you could want. It's so easy to market this person. She's so good at her job. Rhea Ripley should go over. I think people would be happy. I think they'd be excited. I think they'd be talking about it. Matt, WWE prioritizes the chat. They're talking. They're chirping. They're tweeting. They're TikToking. They're going to be TikToking about Rhea Ripley, man. I think that's the easy pick. All right, let's do some dark horses, Matt. I think we're in unison for Rhea. So the dark horses for that women's Royal Rumble. I'm going to go first on this one. I'm betting lead off here. So my dark horses, Io Shirai. Probably not going to happen, but I think if she does show up, she's so good. You'd have to at least maybe put. Maybe not like a Mario coin, but maybe like one Sonic ring in that pot. I would think about it. Matt, another dark horse, Becky Lynch. It's because if she's in it, she's gonna win it, and that's why I don't see her participating because she's too huge a deal. I can't see her just getting dumped by. Oh gosh, I don't know. Maybe it would be like a Bayley kind of situation. But Matt, my top dark horse. Former UFC champ, Matt. She's all over Twitch now. She's a UFC champ, Twitch champ, former Raw champ. Matt, give me Ronda Rousey. I think people would just lose their minds if she came out. It's just I don't think wrestling's a priority for her, so I can't put a lot into it. But I'm gonna giddy up on that dark horse. Bet. Let's hear those dark horses for the women. Who you got?
I screwed up. There they are. Mike. Number one for me, or I'm going to say the first one I'm going to say. Number one is actually pretty fun. Number one is Becky Lynch. Number two, Ronda Rousey. So you just went over those. I think that would be kind of fun. We're calling them dark horses because we know they're not going to officially get the call or the assignment. I don't know, the official announcement.
Yeah.
Mike, the most fun one, Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane wins the Royal Rumble and faces Asuka at WrestleMania. How cool would that be?
I would have an out-of-body experience. My skeleton would leave my skeleton would leave my flesh, and I don't know. My bones would turn to dust. My skin would, turn into water again, and I would ascend into the heavens, and I'd become the carbon of, so many stars before us, that helped build the Big Bang. That's what kind of big moment that would be. That's how sure I am that it's not going to happen, because I'm not going to ascend into the heavens, unfortunately.
So let's go into the heartthrob picks, because I think that makes more sense than who we, the last thing we're going to do is who we think will win. So the heartthrob pick for the women's side for me is this is going to involve names I've already mentioned, but it's just that the women's rumble has been done so well to start that I think we can be pretty confident that we can have our favorites, the ones we want to win the most.
Yes.
Actually still round out who's most likely to win. But I'm going to run through these because we've already mentioned them. Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley. Boom. Mike?
Mine are identical for the favorites. Bailey number one, Ripley 2, and I'm so sorry. I didn't scroll down all the way. So the heartthrob picks, please let them win. Rhea, I think it's just give her that, strap that rocket to her back. Let's see her fly to the moon. My body will be up there just thinking about Kairi Sane with her triumphant return to the United States. Please let them win. Alexa. I want to see her actually get victories as this character changing, costume changing, blood spewing, rocking chair riding, swing set having, television, children's television show having monster character. Give me Alexa. And then Matt, I really like stirring the pot. I really like the internet wrestling community just, she's a part-timer. Where's Ronda Rousey winning the Rumble? And it just puts a little skip in my step. I'm just a little bit happier.
This is your please God, let them win.
Oh yeah. Oh, give me Ronda Rousey all day. She's so much better at wrestling, and she's only been doing it for like 5 minutes. She just picked it up, like how some people, I got a yo-yo for Christmas. It was in my stocking this year. I just learned how to yo-yo. And that's what Rousey did. She just picked up pro wrestling and was one of the best at it in like 5 minutes. So, give me that.
You're ridiculous. Sometimes, Mike, we've almost gone a whole month. You picked Brock Lesnar as the performer of the year last year.
You know who else? You know who else would pick Brock Lesnar as performer of the year? Drew McIntyre. Yeah, Brock really put me over. I don't know where I'd be without Brock. He's way better. I was gonna fuck up the whole spot and go right back down to the mid card, and Brock really elevated me and helped me out. So big props to Lesnar. Love you, Brookie.
You can have a moment and not be performer of the
Hey, I'm just going off what Drew McIntyre said, all right? So me and Drew are in lockstep on that one. Sorry.
All right. I can't even begin to put the pieces together where you absolutely need Ronda Rousey to win the Royal Rumble. Thank you, Amy. Ridiculous. She loves you, Mike, but boo, Ronda. Yeah, Mike, you can say it would be neat for her to win. But don't say you need her to win. You made the rules. You made the rules for your heart.
Watching over me right now. It feels so good. Oh yeah.
So then your Brock should be in your. All right. Well, I'm cheating right now.
Hey, don't look at my list. Look at your own list.
No, I'm looking at your list.
Don't look at it. Well, look at your list. Okay, there we go. All right.
You know what? I'm looking at it right now. All right.
Avert your eyes, sir. Avert your eyes.
Your top. This is when we lose all the viewers. Mike, your top 3 favorites to win the Women's Rumble. I think these will be 3 names that haven't been mentioned yet, correct?
Yeah. Top 3 favorites, easy peasy. Bailey, I'll fall off my couch if Bailey is not in the bottom 2. Rhea Ripley and then Bianca Belair. One of those 2 women is going to win, I think, and Bailey's going to be there to get them over.
That's a shot, Mike. I hope you know this. That's a shot at my Final Four because Bailey wasn't anywhere near it. So,
man.
Here, Teddy Turnbuckle, tune it in. If Bailey doesn't win, I'll shave my green body. All right, you know what? To both you guys, you know what? Get ready. Get those clippers ready, Teddy. Because this is not happening. She's not in my Final Four. I don't care. Get the... Oh, my God. You too.
Nope.
Right.
Teddy's going to have some beautiful locks, Matt. Me and Teddy are going to be high-fiving come Monday. All right? We're going to be laughing and growing our hair out, our nice COVID hair, you know? It's going to look great.
Anyway, Mike, my top 3 favorites to win. Bailey.
What? What's that? What?
All right.
Oh,
I recognize that she's a favorite to win. I'm just not picking her. I'm not saying I want her to win. Does that make sense?
Hold on. Special guest, former presidential candidate John Kerry is here to backpedal into a little Bailey prediction. Beautiful. Really excited to see John Kerry back in the news.
Is it good to know that I was ready for that? All right. No, I do recognize the fact that it makes a lot of sense to have Bailey and Sasha go at it. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, me and Teddy really appreciate that. Thanks, Matt.
How about Goldberg in a wig? I think, ultimately that's what we all want, right? Because Goldberg needs a change of pace. If he can't make it work in the men's division, Goldberg with a wig, that's the character change. I think. I don't.
If he comes out with like some cool like late '90s R&B and he comes out as Juana Man, I'm gonna be all over that. I really would. I'd be all over that. That'd be fantastic. Nia Jax wins the men's Rumble and Juana Man wins the women's.
I really thought I was gonna go the rest of my life without ever hearing Juana Man again. I really did. And here we are.
I wouldn't count on that because we're watching that in lieu of the Royal Rumble this Sunday, man. So get ready.
All right. So to finish off the list, of course, is Bianca Belair, who's I would say is my number one to win. She's my heartthrob. She's my in my bottom 4. What was our other ones? Oh yeah, she wouldn't be a dark horse.
Who made your picks? Did you do them or Montez? I'm confused.
Wait, isn't he? He's only going out with Bianca. Why would? Oh, you mean for my whole list? I'm ruining your joke. I'm sorry. Screwed up the jokes.
No problem.
There's like a quarter of the mead left, and mead's pretty strong.
You know what? You ruined another joke. You might be a Nemeth brother. I don't know what's going on over there.
All right, so Mike, that should we recap or should we say who are most likely?
We're at an hour and 8, buddy. We got to get rolling into these men's picks. Let's do it.
Let's roll into the men. All right, men Final Four. Mike, I'll go first.
All right,
I've got Big E, Bobby Lashley, Nakamura, and Daniel Bryan. That's right. The only Final Four you guys needed to hear. Right here. Big E, Bobby Lashley, Nakamura, and Daniel Bryan.
Enough. I have my men's Final Four. I do have Big E in there.
You do have Daniel Bryan.
No, you know what?
You're going to take out Daniel Bryan just to make sure you don't agree with me twice?
No, I'm taking out Big E.
Oh, no.
I'm taking out Big E. I just changed it. Bobby Lashley's going in. He's going to be one of the big heels. He's going to be there at the end. AJ Styles, he's just been abusing people left and right on the weeks leading up to Royal Rumble. He's not going to win, but I think he wants some sort of finish in a Rumble. He hasn't really had a shot in this Battle Royal yet since he's been a contracted WWE employee. This is his year, Matt. And then little D-Bry. I think they've pushed him to the point where he's going to get somebody over at the end, but I don't think he's going to win. And, of course, he's got nothing else going on. He's entered into the Rumble. His only other dance partner, Randy Orton, is busy with his new burned face, wearing, Slapjack's old masks. I don't know what that's about.
Can I throw this out there? I think the reason he had to take that off is that it looked absolutely ridiculous.
I think you're in the minority on that one. I think a lot of people thought he looked really cool, like Patrick Bateman, like a little American Psycho.
Let me finish. I think it probably looked absolutely ridiculous in a brightly lit room. When he was going to be in that ring, he was going to have a light pink skin over his dark tanned body. So it was going to be dark tan body and then a little light pink head. Please, God, tell me you know where I'm going with this so I don't have to finish.
Oh, finish it, Matt. Finish it. I'll say Randy, if we learned anything from Randy the Ram Ramzinski from the wrestler, that wrestlers will commit to tanning in the face of
Darkest of times.
In the face of melanoma. So I think Randy Orton still would have tried to tan that little perfect pink patch on his face from the Alexa Bliss burn. So with that said, huh?
Wake up the baby. I gotta make sure.
That's you cackling over there. Nemeth brother. All right, so Edge I think is unfortunately gonna win because that's how WWE likes to do these things. Matt, let's move on. We got to go to the dream picks, Matt. These are the dream scenarios, Matt, for the men.
Now here's I'm picking my dream pick, even though I think it could go a few different ways. But I think this would just be, God, it would be so great to just see him get back at the top and then to really define him as like a crucial character to this roster by giving him a second Royal Rumble win. Mike, my dream win. While I really do want to see Big E take one, my dream, though, right now for this roster would be Nakamura.
Big fan of his. Another guy, when I saw him wrestle for 5 minutes, I scrambled to buy a T-shirt with his name on it because I was so excited to tell people how much I love Nakamura. But my dream pick, Matt, with a nightmare scenario and Goldberg defeating Drew McIntyre. Somebody has got to come out and slap that meaty man meat. And what better choice than Mr. Meaty Man Meat himself, Big E. Matt, we get a boiled up meaty man slapping meat contest at WrestleMania, and Big E is triumphant. Woo!
What if he put that in the podcast because he knew a year ago that this was going to happen?
He had a feeling he's going to win that Royal Rumble for us and take down Goldberg at WrestleMania and retire Goldberg. And Goldberg's going to lose the match and leave his trunks in the middle of the ring and walk butt naked back up the ramp.
What if that became a new thing? Please, God, for every male wrestler that retires henceforth.
I'd be more excited for that than Big E watching those manly cheeks walk up the ramp. So, Matt, dream scenario for me is Big E winning and Goldberg ashamed at WrestleMania, walking bare-assed up the ramp to a crowd at 25% capacity. Woo! So that takes us to our dark horse picks, Matt. I got 3 of them. I'm doing mine first because I'm really excited about him. He changed his song. He's a babyface again. Matt, Shinsuke Nakamura. Matt, moment. My number 2 is Bray Wyatt. I don't think he's even going to really participate. I think all he's going to do is flub up Randy Orton's attempt to win the Rumble. I think that's his goal. I don't think he's going to win. I don't think he's going to factor in. I don't even think he's going to be one of the 30 in the draw. I think he's just going to have some supernatural cameo and then poof, get ready for WrestleMania. Matt, my dark horse. Vince McMahon giggles at him. He doesn't know what he's talking about, but he likes the guy. He likes the look of his face.
Jib.
He likes his jib. He likes that yawning jaw of Matt Riddle, and that's who I'm picking as my dark horse. I don't know if Vince is just a fan of those flip flops getting kicked off in the air, or he likes the Matt style, so to speak. When the guy does a lot of Matt wrestling, Matt Riddle. But Matt Klink, I'm addressing you. I think that this guy could honestly run the company. Like, he's that charismatic, he's that skilled. I just don't think that they're ready to put the rocket on him, but if they did, and I could get Matt Riddle versus Goldberg at WrestleMania for that title, Matt, that's going to put some butts in seats that are 6 feet apart from each other. Matt, give me your dark horses, and you got to do a horsey impression before you get into it.
Is that fine?
He sounded like an upset constable, but Matt, close enough. What are your 3 dark horses?
I had to change mine because I realized one of my dark horses is the odds-on favorite to win the Royal Rumble. So that just goes to prove that we did make this list before we looked at the odds. But I think it totally makes sense for me to take off the guy who's the odds-on favorite because it's going to be kind of dumb. Okay, Mike, my list: AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, and I'm going to throw in Adam Cole. I feel like if we're talking dark horses, that's a guy. Maybe that's more of like a heartthrob pick. Like I would be really excited to see him win. But this is one that would make sense if we're gonna do a surprise. If we had plans for everyone else, then let Adam Cole come in here and he can fight Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. Of course, he's the guy who took down Drew at in NXT. I think he'd like a little bit of payback. Yeah, that's right. Right, moving right along. To those heartthrob picks for the men's side, Mike absolutely have to win, or please let them win is how we're defining it. Nakamura again, Big E again, Cesaro. Please, could you imagine how great that would be? And if they were concerned about the crowd reaction at the end of the Royal Rumble, which they're dumb for thinking that, because you and I know that they would blow up, but there's always those reasons like why would they not pick Cesaro? This would be just go ahead and do it, and now they don't have to have their silly little conversations in the back about maybe he's not over as much as he thinks he is. No, it would just be boom, he gets it. Let's throw him in on a road to WrestleMania where we control the sound, the crowd noise, and give him some victories. And let's set up Cesaro versus Drew McIntyre for Cesaro versus Roman Reigns, Cesaro versus Goldberg. Two baldies with a little bit of beard going at it.
It's a lot of glare on the screen if you're watching. I don't know. Might not.
Throw Sheamus in there too.
One of them's gonna have to grow their hair out. I want to see Cesaro grow out as George Costanza. That's what I want. Is it time for my heartthrob picks? Because I'm ready. Please let Matt Riddle win. Just turn the wrestling world upside down and let it smoke a big bowl of marijuana to celebrate. That's number 3. Matt Moment number 2, AJ Styles. This is a guy who got to fight, broken Undertaker at WrestleMania. He had to fight Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. He had to have a losing feud against Chris Jericho, which made no sense. I think we can give him, one of those moments that we look back on.
Yeah. No, that makes so much sense right now.
And AJ Styles. The only thing getting in the way is I don't think that they're going to let that almost be there for a Royal Rumble winner. So that's what kind of bums me out. If he's kind of by himself on this streak that he's on now, I think he'd be higher on my list. But, man, I would really like to see AJ win. And, Matt, I like picking these not just for Sunday, but I like picking them with WrestleMania in mind. And that's why.
Don't say it.
If you smell what the Rock. Okay. Now, there's no shot of the Rock. I think he's filming, I don't know, Jumanji 3 or Fast and the Furious 15 or something. I think he's busy. But if we could set up the Rock at number 30 to fight Roman Reigns for the ultimate Samoan head of the table at WrestleMania, I think people would absolutely go diaper shopping because they would just be pooping their pants all the time. It's not going to happen, but it's one of those things I can, take a knee and, put my symbol up there and just hope, maybe the greatest WrestleMania main event of all time can start having its seeds planted in us.
It will happen, but it's going to happen at a full capacity Royal Rumble.
All right.
Boom. Okay. Mike, we have our favorites now to pick. I'm sure everybody's thoroughly confused at this point when we jump around the board here. So our 3 favorites, again, this is who we think is most likely to win. We're not talking about who do we hope's going to win, what's our dream win, dark horses. We're talking who is most likely to win here. Mike, I will go first. I'm going to go from top. Can I change my answer? I'm going to change my answers. All right, let's do this. Brock Lesnar, Big E, I'm gonna cheat. I said I wasn't gonna change my Daniel Bryan. I mean, come on.
Brock, that order: Brock, Big E, Daniel Bryan. So Daniel Bryan, you're picking as the winner.
I have to. I'm too informed at this
He's
point.
going with the odds. He's going with the odds makers.
I'm cheating.
I don't think Daniel Bryan. I think he wants to put people over. I don't think he's going to win. I think Bobby Lashley is probably going to have a crap ton of eliminations, and he's going to get eliminated, and we're going to be upset. I think Brock Lesnar is going to be there in some capacity, but I don't think he's going to win. Matt, they have no other program planned for Edge. He's in the Royal Rumble. There's nothing else going on for him. People like paying to watch this guy. They love, on the stage, I see clearly. Get ready to
was
hear
on
this
this day.
He becomes is it day? I don't know. He's screaming.
Is it stage or day? All right, while you're talking.
Well, on the Royal Rumble stage, on that Sunday, Edge is going to stand triumphant. The fireworks are going off. We're going to see the devil horns. And I'm not going to be upset. I'm not going to be as excited as some other legends or Matt Riddle winning or AJ Styles winning. And I think Edge is probably going to be there. I think Edge.
Who has 2 thumbs and got that right? This guy. Metalingus. On this day, I see clearly. Everything is come to life. Broken dream. Leave it all behind. All right, I'm sorry.
Oh, man. Was that Cher coming in at the end?
Yeah, absolutely was.
Understand. Oh, so clearly. Cher's a big fan of wrestling. Matt, I think we got through the picks. I'll just recap the favorites, right? So yeah, I'm picking Bayley and Edge to walk out as Rumble winners.
Bianca Belair and you know what? I'm sticking with Big E. I'm gonna go with that. Bianca Belair and Big E.
Matt has updated his list 15 times since the show started. All right.
I gotta stick with Big E because that's who I picked in November, and I gotta go 4 years in a row getting that right.
Not Drew Carey this year. All right, Matt, we gotta wrap this up. We're almost at an hour. Are we at an hour and a half? We're 7 minutes short. We're gonna do it.
Woo! All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Check out the Brothers of Discussion YouTube channel if you're watching us on Twitter. And of course, if you're watching us on YouTube, please go find @BOD Podcast on Twitter and @brothers_of_discussion on Instagram. Find our hockey podcast if you guys are Red Wings fans as Red Wings Rant. And all of our blogging and stuff goes to bodpodcast.com, brothersofdiscussion.com. You can find the links to everything there. And please, 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 as we continue to try and blow up both of our shows, if you could subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts, and of course the subscriptions on YouTube do us a major good. So we, whatever you guys want to do, if you want to transact subscribes for subscribes, just throw it out there. We're here for you, and we want you to be here for us. That's what we need to survive and to thrive. Also, quick shout out to our Hockey Podcast Network brethren. If you are looking to do some online betting, use promo code THPN on DraftKings. So download the DraftKings app and use promo code THPN. That gets you guys some sweet gifts as you head into DraftKings. So check that out. You'll have some pretty sweet promotions headed your way. But Mike, that's it for me. And thank you to everybody that sent in your videos or contacted me today so we could actually chit-chat before everything got started. I hope to work with everybody again. And, of course, Amy, you are our shining star. So thank you so much for being you, Amy. And we will see you, Amy, at the next Royal Rumble, as we saw you a year ago. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, that was a year ago. We actually got to meet Amy in person. We hope next Royal Rumble we can meet all of you in person, and we can all have a big old group Brothers of Discussion hug, COVID-free at that point because we're all vaccinated. And just enjoy some wrestling. All right.
Yeah.
Mike, let's sail off into the sunset.
Oh, hell yeah.
Thanks, everybody.